I think from the Databricks perspective, obviously there are a few things, but probably the major one is the effort on the lakehouse. So this is basically, it's having a common data layer, which is going to serve all the workloads, data processing workloads, all the way from like data warehouse analytics workloads to machine learning workloads, right? To have this kind of one common repositories from which you are going to access the data and process it in a multitude of modalities.
We do share a lot of common view with Databricks, with Ion as well. The multi-cloud is the future. So it's about data share. From our perspective, it's about data sharing across the clouds, compute frameworks, and the storage systems. That is becoming the norm. So with the connected world that we are living in, so we're moving towards this hybrid and multi-cloud like data operating system for analytics and AI. And to realize this vision, so from our perspective, we need abstraction at various different layers, along with strong governance for secure data sharing. So with the cloud service emerge to simplify the operation of such environments, like at Alluxio, we're developing the roadmap to address the different aspects of such a highly distributed multi-cloud data operating system environment to really enable this simple and efficient data sharing across an evolving ecosystem. So that's our view.
We believe that's the future. I think the other trend is we are going to see, and we see as a future, it's a multi-cloud. So basically providing the same service across different clouds. So for the customer, doesn't need to pick one particular cloud in order to run a service like Databricks. They can pick any cloud and they will be able to transparently and seamlessly share the data across the cloud. Data everywhere.
Ion took the best. So we'll add like open, agile, and modular.
More than 2 words, actually. So, of course, so there are a few things here. So first, I would like to mention that actually UC Berkeley has been for a long time the cradle of the open source. Unix, BSD stands for Berkeley Standard Distribution. Part of Unix BSD has been the TCP IP stack, that like the networking stack which dominates today is the internet. Then even before that, at UC Berkeley was developed the first relational database engine, which was open source. It was called Ingress. So it's from 70s and 80s, it's a long tradition of developing open source software. Of course, right now, open source software is becoming much more relevant. And now going back to AMPLab and the RISE Lab, the way we do that, it's basically, first of all, we collaborate strongly with industry to try to understand real problems and work with them on common projects to solve these problems. And probably the most important aspect is great students, like HI and others, Haoyuan. When you put all this together, great things can happen. And just want to make sure again is like, for instance, all these labs, RISE Lab or AMPLab, by definition, everything which is developed is open source. And actually, we do not file for any patents. So everything is for public consumptions.
Thank you, Ion. Maybe I can share a little bit from the student perspective. So, Ion mentioned the tradition, all those type of things. That makes a lot of sense. And while I was doing my PhD in the lab, I did feel that like when you talk with people, it's a sense of the experience. You can learn from that history and experience as well. And Yang mentioned study, like collaborate strong with the industry and etc. But I do also want to mention like the lab, there's a strong collaboration among the faculties, and the lab, the faculties, the professors give the students a very high degree of flexibility of doing things, and they support the students to do various activities, to try things, and they give them the chance to try and take the ownership as well, to push things to as far as you like, if the students has the will. So that's I do want to call that as well. And in those years, like there's so many like venues the lab has provided the students to really like directly engage with the industry, give presentations, collect feedback, and open source the research results, and take the front seat to drive it further. I think this is a very great trait from the lab.